Hi, my name is Greenberg, and this is my persuasive speech. I decided to do my persuasive speech on organ donation and the importance of becoming an organ donor. The reason I chose the speech is because it's something that, touches my heart and touches my home. My son, when I was 24 years old, I gave birth to my son who was born with aortic stenosis as well as a bicuspid valve. A cardiologist came into my room shortly after he was born and told me about his condition and informed me that someday my son may need to go through and have a valve transplant. I was not aware of what a valve transplant was. I had no idea and probably never even gave organ donation or being an organ donor a second thought until then. People should think of organ donation as a way of saving a life. They shouldn't think of it as a way of giving a part of themselves away to a stranger. They should think about it as a stranger giving away part of themselves in order to keep part of you alive. Today I'm going to discuss with you the statistics regarding people that need organ donations, the types of organ donations that there are, how the allocation process goes, and how you can easily sign up to become an organ donor. The first thing I'm going to discuss with you is some statistics and facts regarding organ donation. According to Cedars-Sinai Hospital, 12 new people are put on the waiting list that are in need of a transplant every single day. 18 people that are on the list waiting for a transplant actually die before getting a transplant also every single day. There are currently approximately 120,000 people waiting on the transplant list for organ that are men, women, and children. 1,760 of them are pediatric patients. According to Professor Arthur Kaplan, who is a professor at the University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine, 9 out of 10 people want to be an organ donor, but somehow their wishes are never told or the wishes are never known, and those organs end up being buried with them. So there's something wrong with the system, so we're trying to fix that and have people sign up in advance or let their family know that they want to be an organ donor. Some people are worried that their religious background might prevent them from being an organ donor. You'll be happy to know that in the United States, every religion accepts people being organ donors. In fact, they believe it's one of the best and most generous things they can do at the end of their life is give life to another person. In 2011, there were 8,000 deceased organ donations. In addition, there were 6,000 living organ donations given by people that were alive. There's absolutely no cost to the donor or to their family to become an organ donor or to time of donation. One other misconception people have is that they think that if they get in an accident or something happens to them, that perhaps the doctor might not try hard enough to save them because they'll see they're an organ donor. Well, this is absolutely untrue. You cannot be an organ donor unless you are deceased. You must be deceased to be an organ donor. In fact, you must die from not only die, you must have something irreparable neurologically happen to your brain in order for the transplant to take place. Things such as the aneurysm or a stroke or getting into a car accident are some of the cases where they can. This is because the blood and the oxygen need to flow through the body and continue to flow until recovery of those organs can occur. This ensures the viability of those organs to know that they can be used. Now that I gave you some statistics and some facts regarding people that are in need of organ donation and why organ donation is important, I'm going to talk to you about the kinds of organs that can be donated. The heart, the lungs, the liver, kidneys, pancreas, and intestines can all be transplanted into a person of need and donated to a person in need. Living donors can actually donate their kidney, one of their kidneys, part of a liver, part of a lung, or pancreas, or even intestines to another person while they're still living. That usually happens when it's a family member or a friend or somebody that has something to do with the family, in most cases. Another thing that can be donated is tissue. Tissues, things like skin, bone, and heart valves. Heart valves is something, as I said to you earlier, something that my son may need someday. And we're going to count on somebody else having the kind and generous heart who's an organ donor in order for him to, live and continue to have a productive life. Tissue donation needs to happen within 24 hours after death. And unlike the other organs, tissue can be stored for a period of time. It could be used at a later time for burn victims or for repair of ligaments or bones. Each year, approximately 30,000 people receive some type of tissue donation. One donor of tissue can help up to 50 people in some way, just from one donor. The cornea is also something that can be donated. The cornea is just the clear dome over the eye, over the retina, that lets the light shine through. We need that to cover our retina so we can see. Sometimes you're able to give the gift of sight back to somebody by donating that. Now that I discussed with you the types of organs and tissues that can be donated, I'm going to talk to you about some other important things, such as how the allocation process of the organs happens after somebody passes away, and that is the organ donor. The first thing that is done is there's a medical health check, background check on that person, as well as testing of the blood and the tissue to make sure that this person didn't have any infectious diseases or anything that could get passed on to the recipient. Once that is done, they go into the National Registry to see who a possible donor could be. They do that by trying to match up the blood type as well as tissue type, the urgency of the person that is in need, the urgency of the recipient to see who is at most need, and of course the location of where they are, because time is of essence and they need to get the organs there as quickly as possible. Once this person is located, the other hospital is contacted, and they both work out details on how to get those organs to that hospital as soon as possible. Now that I discussed with you how the allocation process works, I'm going to discuss with you how easy it is to sign up to be a donor. Many people already signed up by checking that little box in the back of their license that asks you if you want to be a donor. If some of you out there didn't check that box when you got your driver's license and would like to become a donor, it's very easy to do. You can go on to the Division of Motor Vehicles for the state that you live, and on that website there is a link for you to click in order to sign up to be an organ donor. You can also go onto many other websites in order to sign up to be an organ donor, such as life.net. Go on that site, you find where it says you want to be an organ donor. It will most likely bring you back to your Division of Motor Vehicles for that state, because that's the best way for them to put in for that anybody wants to be an organ donor. Another way you can ensure that you're an organ donor is to make sure you put it in your will, that that's what your wishes are. Another way is to make sure your family members know that you want to be an organ donor, or even your primary doctor. Signing up in advance ensures that the organs will hopefully be donated, and it also takes away the situation where your family may have to make that decision not knowing what your wishes were, which can be very hard for them after a loss of somebody they love. In conclusion, organ donation saves lives. If you're an organ donor, you can't, and then when you pass away, you can't take the organs with you. You might as well leave them behind for somebody and save their life. You can save many people's lives just with one person. You can make a difference. What better way to leave this world than to leave a little bit of life behind? I hope I persuaded you how important it is to be an organ donor. I hope that you will all consider signing up today or signing up soon and save a life. Thank you.